Okay, everybody, I'm going to do a screen share here and make sure we're all good to go. And this is the second recording. This will get us to the magical number of minutes that are supposed to be in a 3-hour session. According to how we count credit hours, you have 50-minute session and then 10 minutes to get to each class. So these your class tonight, those of you who are 11:23 at class night last night, you actually should have 150 minutes of instruction during the 180 minutes, i.e. the 3 hours that you take class. So we don't do any breaks. So I just go straight through, and that's how you get your time. And I posted I posted a file today to replace the one from last night, simply because the one from last night, the audio was awful, and it's because of the university bandwidth problem. So it's been a fun week for all of us that need to use technology at the school, and you have my deep apologies about that. And got somebody calling me. I have no earthly idea who it might be, but anyway, I posted a video at YouTube. Let me go to the announcements for a minute, kind of get everybody up square on what's going on. And if you want to know anything about, you can always start with the top and go to the bottom. I provided you. Use this for this. This is the screencast that replaces the one that was so garbled up last night. So you can do that. Then for case number Excel case 4, i.e. Dabney Financial, I've got the solution file that I worked on during that video cast. Okay, and then this is this was the live session recording, and this is from the 31st of August. But I got a feeling, well, if I'm not mistaken, as I mentioned here, I had to redo it. So that this is, don't disregard this and use this one for 831. Okay, now let's move on, and we'll look down here into the syllabus to see what's coming up. As you realize, we are working ahead. We did the first 2 cases, and those are Athena Beauty Products and Whistle Cleaners. And I showed you that in both those 2 are kind of baby cases because we just did some formatting. We developed some formulas and that type of thing. So there really wasn't a whole lot there. And then Guardian Payroll, which is case number 3, XLS X3. We did that the very first class we met, and I showed it was the one that had the payroll with the rolling FICA and the nested conditional statements and all that business. So we've done 3 Excel files. Then in the video I recorded this morning, and as I did last night with everybody who were there at the class physically, we covered Dabney Financial, which is case number 5, okay? Case number 4. So now we're down to case number 5. You say, you're moving fairly fast. Yes, because when we hit access, people tend to have problems. And I want to say this to those of you who came last night, class with an Apple. Listen, I appreciate the fact that you have an Apple, but we're using Access in this course, and so you're going to have to do some work in the computer lab on Access, or or find somebody that has a PC machine. I'm sorry, there's no compromising on that, and that means for probably for several of you, you're going to simply need to go to the lab. That's what the lab is for. You pay for it, so you ought to use it anyway. That being said, we're going to talk about XLS number 5. That's case number 5. Now remember, it's not due till the 14th of September, but as I said, we're working ahead so that when we hit the access cases, if we have to take an extra day or something like that, we can do so. Okay? So we're going to talk about that for just a minute, and we're going to go over to the Files section of Canvas, all right? And I'm going to pop in here, and I'm going to scroll down for the Solve It student files, all right? Now you're on instructor view, okay? So you can see everything I see. If I went to student view, there's a lot of these stuff would disappear because it's hidden from me. It's not published. Well, here is the Solve It 6.0 student files. Folks, when you say, where's the file for so-and-so? Well, they're all in here. And so I'm going to download the solution, this Solve It 6 student files. It's a zip file. All right. And amazingly enough, what you'll see is, holy smokes, there it is. There's a Action Plastics, Athena Beauty. Wow. There's a bunch of them there. And are you ever right? Now, the Excel case number 5 is the town of Clintwood, okay, which starts on page 54 in the Solve It textbook. So we're going to go, and it starts over on page 54, okay? And as usual, the authors give you some background about the situation, what's going on, what they need to do, and at the bottom of page 54, amazingly, the authors say, load the file, Clintwood QXLS, and there's that good old Clintwood. So I'm going to take this jewel, and I'm going to open it up, okay? All right, and I'll enable the editing, and I'm going to save it on my desktop, and I'm going to call it, this is just me, XLSX case 5. And I'm even, yeah. This is the skeleton file. Okay, I'm going to close this. Okay, so it's on my desktop now. Let me close it off, make sure it is. Remember, always put your stuff on your desktop so then when you're ready to load it back, and there it is. And again, you can see Cardinal Buddy. All righty. Well, let's go back here for a moment and we'll open up that case. Again, it's the skeleton file. And it's and what they're saying is this is a 2-year budget projection, okay? So we're going to do a little bit of work here, not only with some cell referencing, but this is kind of a word problem. So up over here, I'm going to create an assumptions area, okay? And these are things that we're assuming are going on. And we're going to look here, and one way to analyze it, this is top of page 55, is to examine the amount of money in each category. So we're doing an estimate. Now listen, you are going to see, okay, a quiz called Trend Analysis Quiz. I know I'm going to get 25 people who are going to go, whoa, fuck. Look, folks, listen. It's based on case number 5 on trend analysis, which is what we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to do that. Now, we've got some assumptions, and if you take a look at page 55 and you look at the second paragraph, okay, you're going to start to see what I'm talking about. Now, up above, it tells us that the town has some choices if they want to balance their budget. They can raise taxes, okay, borrow money, or reduce some of their expenses. So they want to stay in balance. Now, or you can do some combination of those 3, okay? Now, our protagonist in this case, Brown, this is the second paragraph on page 55, wants to use the following. He's making some assumptions, okay? And so we're going to put right next to this 2009. Okay, I'm going to click there and click copy. format painter, and boom. Okay? And we're going to come down and for the tax levy. Now, we're going to make some assumptions up here, and the first is that the state will reduce its aid to the town by 6% a year. So I'm going to put state aid, okay? And I'm going to put this equals 1.00 minus 0.06. Now, why are you doing that, Dr. Harmon? Simple. They just said, okay, we're going to reduce the aid to the town by 6%. Okay, well, so 1 minus 0.06 will give me 0.94. And so we're going to assume that state aid, okay, will be 0.94. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over here, and since we've learned this here trick about that name manager thing, I'm going to do that and click on here. Now add a new one, and that amazingly is called state aid, and it refers to Clintwood G3. How about that? So we've got state aid. All right, so we've got that in the name manager. We'll close it off. So we're gonna get the tax, pardon me, the state aid, and so we're going to this will equal, and I'm going to use the formula, state aid, boom. Okay, we're at, pardon me, equals state aid times B13. Okay. Now you say, how did you get that? Well, they assumed we're going to have a 6% cut in state aid. So I use this assumption up here, and I identified that as state aid, and I multiplied it times B13, which is the state aid from 2009. Okay. Now, he also tells us historically employees that have been rising, expenditures for employee salaries and benefits have been rising 13% annually. Okay. Well, here's another assumption then we have. I'll put employee salary and benefits. Okay. I'm going to click in there and I'll click home, and I'm going to wrap the text. You know, not wrap like, you know, you would expect, but we wrap the text. And in this case, it's going to equal 1.00 see, it's going to go up. They said it's going to go up 13% annually. So I'm put 1.00 plus 0.13. Okay. Now, so for salaries plus benefits, this will equal. Okay, we're going to take this and we're going to define this. So we're going to click formulas, name manager, and we're going to click new, employee salary and benefit, boom, and we're good. Close this. So this is going to equal, and you see they're using a formula, employee salary and benefit, okay, that'll be times B21. Now I'm going to put a $sign in front of the B21 because I want to drag and drop this down. Boom. And then I'm going to bring it all the way down here. And I also need to do it for employee benefits. Okay. use them formula. Salary and benefits. And that would be times B31. Now I'm not going to do drag and drop there for a simple reason. I've got some other figures. Now we've done the employee salary and benefits, and we've assumed that they're going to jump 13%. Okay, so far so good. And now the next, and I'm in the middle paragraph there on page 55. He expects all other expenditures to rise at a rate of 6% annually. Okay, so we're going to put all other expenses. Okay, and we'll squinch this out a little bit, and this will equal 1.00 plus 0.05. Okay, and so all other expenses will be will go up 5%. So I'm going to put right here. I'm going to start with the legal expenses, and I'll put equal, and then use the formula. As I didn't define that, did I? So let's stop for a moment. I got ahead of myself. And we're going to define a name. And that's all other expenses. And it's going to be G5. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. So now this will equal. And we're going to listen to formula, all other expenses. Okay. Times B28. I'm going to put a $ in front of the 28, and I'm going to carry it down. Okay, and I'm going to stop at the employee benefits because we'd already used an assumption on them, and so that I'm going to continue down. So employee benefits, row 31. Okay, cell C31. We've already done that because they assume the benefits are going up 13%. So we're going to come back to the all other expenses. Let's check up here. And we'll come down to cell C32, and this will equal, and we're going to put using a formula. Now you see why we like that name manager when we went through all that time and trouble, times, that's the 2008 amount. And again, I'm going to use a $ in front of the B so I can drag and drop. And I'll come down here. Okay. Now, and I want you to notice something. You see the little green thing there? That says, hey, wait a minute. You've got these other formulas surrounding me. Why this? It's to alert you in the event you've made an error. We haven't made an error. We just simply used a different formula for that one item. Well, now it's time for us to go ahead and add up all of the other expenses. Okay, and so that's just simply a matter of taking that where sum equal B21 to B37, and we're just going to scroll on over, and that will give us C31 to C37. We'll make sure it's right. Okay, okay. And we're good. So now we have, and now we're ready to do receipts less disbursements. And we're going to do that, and we'll just drag it across. Okay. And pardon me. Got a problem there because I haven't done the receipts. I haven't finished those. Let's go back up here, and on the tax levy, let's see if they say anything. It promises not to pay taxes, so we're going to need to do a tax levy under assumptions. Okay, and this will equal 1.00 plus 0.04. And that's the tax levy. So we'll equal, using a formula. Oh, I didn't define it. I keep getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry, folks. I'm going to define this name, tax levy, and we're good. Okay. Then this will be equal, and then we're going to go using a formula, tax levy times B12. All right. And then miscellaneous receipts. Let's see what they say about those. Miscellaneous receipts to rise 5% annually. So we're going to put here and they're supposed to go up 5% annually, so that will equal 1.00 plus 0.05. Okay. And here this will equal, and we'll use a form. I didn't define it. I keep not defining these. Let's define the name. See, boom. We're good there. Now we're ready to do it. Equal. Now we're using a formula. Miscellaneous receipts times B14. Now, we've got that little line there, and we'll just copy it, and we'll paste it. Okay. Now, in cell C16, okay, I'm going to get the total receipts, and that's simple. I'll just drag and drop this across. Do something stupid like that. You can always back yourself out of it. That's what I'm doing right now. And there you see we have the new total receipts, and then we'll take and we have the new receipts. So now we're ready to scroll across down here. Okay, and I'm going to make receipts less disbursements bold. All right. Now I want to do some conditional formatting on that one cell. And I'm going to highlight the cell rule. And if this is less than 0, red fill with a dark text. Okay. And I can also apply another rule to that. If it's greater than 0, if it's greater than 0, we'll put a green fill with yellow text. Okay. Well, now in this case, we also want to go ahead and I want to do some work here in terms of just making it look a little prettier. All right. And I'm going to copy this line, Put it here. Okay, so that we have same kind of thing up here that we did. I'm going to go ahead and bold these since they're totals. Total receipts, I'll bold that. So it's pretty, and then other expenses, we'll go ahead and bold that so you can see. And I'm going to do this with revenues. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger because it's a key part. So I'm going to take it up to 14. Disbursements, I'm going to do the same thing. And then receipts less disbursements, I'm going to do the same thing. I'll make it like a 14. Okay. And we'll have to move that out a little bit, but it won't kill us. Now you can see the thing, and it looks pretty professional. And we have our assumptions up here. And we've done all of them. Now, at this point, okay, this is XLS case 5. I've saved it. And I'm going to come up here in the assumptions area, and I'm going to bold that. And then I'm going to put a nice border on it using some fill. And I'm going to use a nice green fill. Let's stick, green's not bad. It's a nice green assumptions. In fact, I just want this row right here. F2 and G2. I want to put that so I create that kind of a. Yeah, I'll just stick with that. And then I'm going to come down here and highlight these cells and click. And then I'll come up here and I'm going to click copy, format painter. And there you are. It was a nice little table and border. Okay. And so we've got our assumptions up here. Now, we kind of have an issue. And so I want to make sure, let's go ahead and put these in, just doing a little bit of formatting. And so we've done our state aid, we've got the receipts. And now, given the assumptions we're working with, all right, we have a little bit of a problem. Now I'm going to try to do something here. And click on view, and I'm going to try freezing the pane. I don't know if that's going to do us any good. Yeah, there we go. We freeze the pane, and here we are. That's good. Now I can scroll along, and I don't have to worry about losing the assumptions that I had up top. Okay. Now I'm also going to click on here, and I'm going to create a watch window. Okay, and I forget how to do the watch window here. I'm going nuts with this. All right. Anyway, I'll figure that out how to do the watch window. But you can see we keep the assumptions in front of us. I think maybe it's under custom. No. Let's click on custom views for just a minute. Nope, don't have anything there. Show. I'll have to find that. Wait a minute here. Formulas, it might be under, yeah, there it is. There's the watch window, okay? And I'm going to do this. All right. Now, you say, what's the point? Well, the watch window here, it tells me the sheet, it tells me the name, and this is the value. This is B40, okay? In fact, let's undo that, and we'll do a new watch window. And we'll delete this. We're going to delete the watch. Click here, delete the watch. We're going to add a watch. Come over here, and we'll get all of this. And no, it's not going to let you. Not going to work for us. Let's delete that. Playing around a little bit, not a big deal, but trying to save us some trouble. And I'm going to add a watch, the original one, so that we can see cell B40 and cell C40. Those are receipts less disbursements. Now, just to show you the value of the watch window, I'm going to do something right here. I'm going to make this minus on the state aid, all right? Instead of a 6% cut, let's say they do a 3% cut, and watch, all right? And we'll see, you'll see how that changes. Okay? Now we cut our state aid. Now, we're going to go back. To keep our state aid back, and notice how the values change. So we're watching them. Okay, so we've done everything now in those first 5 tests. Now it's apparent, okay, based upon where they are, all right, and then this watch window allows me to scroll, not to avoid scrolling down there every time I want to see if I change something. And just so you can see it again, the tax levy, they set a 1 plus 0.04. I'm going to say they're going to add 0.6, so it'll be a 6%, or pardon me, an 8% increase in the tax levy, and watch what happens. Notice that we do, that the tax levy now is 1.08, we've added 8%, and our new value, C40, okay, which is the receipts less disbursements for, it's 2009 receipts less disbursements, is only 70,000 in the hole, okay? And we'll just reverse that back out. So we end up with, now, I think what we want to do is we want to use the name manager. So I'm going to click right here, and let's do this first. Yeah, I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to define a name. And it's receipts less disbursements, 2009. Pardon me, 2008. Okay. And we're going to define a name here. And it's going to be receipts Okay. Now with the watch window, oh, my voice broke. I'm sorry. Now, isn't that nice? Now I don't have to worry about all this. I know what sheet I'm in. I know the book, and I know the name, and I know the cell, and then the value in the cell. See that? So we've got all of our assumptions built here. Okay. And right now, as it stands, if they go ahead and follow their budget assumptions, they're $231,781 in the hole. Okay, and so we have some choices to make, and that is, okay, we got to raise the revenue, all right, or we reduce expenses, or we do some combination of both in order to get ourselves to a balanced budget. Okay, now with the watch window, I can scroll around. I don't have to worry. I know the name, the cell, and the value. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to come up here, and we're going to leave state aid because we have no control over them. But let's say we're going to try to do a reduction in employee salary and benefits. So we're going to take, and we're going to, instead of assuming that it's going to go up 13% a year, we're going to get it down to a 10% a year, 10% increment. And notice, if you look here, you'll see where it was 200 and some odd thousand. Now it's 138,000 in the hole. So we've made some progress. Okay. Tax levy. Well, we've promised the public that we wouldn't do anything, but we're gonna try something. Or instead of 4%, we're gonna go 5%. And let's see what happens. And before we did the 5%, we were at 138,000, and now let's make it a 5% increase in the tax levy. And now we're down to 98,771 in the hole. We still haven't balanced it, but you'll notice we have raised the taxes a little bit. We cut the employee salaries and benefits some, and we don't have too much in the way of any control. So we're still going to have to do something about that. Now, we may have to do some miscellaneous receipts. So on miscellaneous receipts, instead of 5%, let's try and say we're going to shoot for 8. And let's see what happens. We're still 65,000 in the hole. Okay, so we're going to have to come back up here, and we're going to have to say the employee salary and benefit. We can't expect any additional state aid, other expenses, so we're going to have to come back and do the tax levy, and we're going to make that 6%. Told everybody 4, but to get this balanced, it's probably going to have to be 6. And we're close. Okay. Now, we could do this all on the fly. We could put it we could try to put it into a scenario manager, although I don't think it will be able to. All right. And so now we're 25,000 down. So let's go back to the miscellaneous receipts, and let's attack a big thing, and that's going to be the employee salaries and benefits. So it's going to be 1 plus 1 plus and we're going to do 0.05, and it's going to be 0.0. 4. So instead of a 13, we're going to cut it to 4. And now we're in the red. Okay? And so we'll come back to employees' expenses, and let's hold it. Let's say a 5% increment. We're still good. On the employee salary and benefits, let's try and hold it at 6%. We're good. We put them at 7%. You get them down to 8, 9, and let's go with 1 plus 0.095 would be 9.5%. See what that does to us. Puts us a little bit in the hole. So we're going to put this at 1 plus 0.0925. There's 9.25%. And that puts us a little bit. So we're going to leave it at 9%. So we're going to cut those. And by cutting instead of assuming that the employee salaries and benefits will be 13%, we're going to get that down to 9%. Okay. That's one of our options, and we're now balanced. Okay. Now the other would be more on the tax levy. Okay, and we've already raised that 6%. We've already got miscellaneous revenues up. So we attacked the state, and that's about the closest we could do. We're 5,000 surplus. Okay, so let's come back here and go to miscellaneous receipts, and let's see if we assume that it will be 7%. What will happen? Up a little bit in the hole. So we'll put that at 7.5%. And we're negligibly in the hole. Miscellaneous receipts. We had them at 8. And that gets us to a $5,000 surplus. So here's what we did in this case. Okay. The first thing was we created an assumptions area. All right. And that was based upon what the original budget, what the original assumptions were. We applied that over to create the 2009 forecast. Okay. And we're going to call this base right above it because that's the current, and we're going to call this forecast. Okay. Now let me say this again. I want to emphasize it to you. Hopefully you'll listen to it. The financial, trend analysis quiz is drawn from case number 5. Okay, so we have the base and we have the forecast, and given what we've done here in terms of, and we're our assumptions, we reduced the employee benefits, we got some other, all other expenses kept, looks like we kept them constant. And then we went on tax levy. Instead of 4%, we did 6%. On miscellaneous receipts, we went after 8%. And that gets us to a balanced budget. But actually, we have a little bit of a surplus. Okay? So, if we do that, we're in good shape. And the watch window right here, obviously, keeps me from having to scroll down to see it, and this freeze pane lets us keep everything here. Okay? So I'm going to save this. And I'm going to save it as XLS case 5. And I put use this one. And I'm going to save it. And we're done. Okay? So that gives us a sense of the options that we had and how we can use a spreadsheet to do some forecasting about the future. Again, the trend analysis quiz will be will be drawn primarily from case number 5, the town of Clintwood. And they were doing a 2-year budget projection, and he wants us to do the projection of the next 2 years' budgets. So we got to go to that. We have to go to 2010. And we'll copy this. Copy the format painter. Boom. All right. Now, we're going to start with the tax levy, and we're going to assume that everything will be the same. We're going to assume that state aid will say, so we're not going to change anything, okay? We're just going to take it times their increment, so it's going to be equal. And we'll go over here to formulas, using formula. And this will be tax levy. That percentage times 2009, but this will equal state aid times notice how we see, and this is a forecast, and then this is also a forecast, so let's go ahead and put that up there. Okay. And then miscellaneous receipts, this will equal, using a formula, miscellaneous receipts times okay, and then we'll just drag this on over here. Oh, that's that one up. And we'll copy this, we'll paste it. And so we know for 2010, we kept our budget assumptions the same. We assumed that the tax levy, we'd have to do another 6% tax levy, okay? And then on state aid, it's going to dwindle another 6%. And then our miscellaneous receipts on that one, we're going to keep it at 8% more, all right? And now we're ready to do salaries plus salary and benefits. So this will equal, and we'll click up here on formulas, salary and benefits times that's how we get the figure for salary and benefits. And I'm going to put a $sign in front of the C. And then I'm just going to carry it on down and drag and drop it. Okay. Now I'm ready to do all other expenses, and this will be equal. Using a formula. And here it's times C28. And what I'm going to do is put a dollar sign in front of the C because I'm going to drag and drop this. I'm going to drag and drop it all the way down here. I'm going to stop at employee benefits because those are going to be a different figure. Now, this will also be equal all other expenses. It's going to be times. And we'll put a dollar sign in front of the C because we're going to come down the column. All right. Now I made a mistake over here because I assumed that the debt service would increase, and it will not. So I messed this up. So come down to come down to cell C37, the debt service. And it will equal B37. Because the debt service is going to stay the same. They'll equal B37. Okay. And we'll just go ahead. Okay, and now what I need to do is I'm doing the columns, so it's going to be D16, B38. Okay, I want to copy that little line there, so go home, and I'm going to click copy, and then put paste the note in there. So now we've done let's put total disbursements and put those in bold. And we've added and now I want to add a watch. And that gives us the I don't like what I did there. So I'm going to delete each of these watches. Add this sheet. And we'll start with this one. And we're going to then add the next one. And then finally, we'll add the watch, this one. And I don't think we can edit those. That's one of the problems. So I'm going to delete these watches altogether. I click here, I have the watch. Okay, good. I click here, I'm at a watch. And I'll click here. I don't think it will let me add it. Or edit it. Okay. So that one I have to play around with, but at least we've got the screen and we see how much things will change. And so we've done the forecasts. We took our base year is 2009, then we took the forecast for 2000. Base year is 2008, then we did the forecast for 9 and the forecast for 10. And we're good. And I'm still trying to figure out how I want to name that. Unless I want to put, I'm going to do this. Delete that watch. And I'm going to come down here and put receipts less disbursements. Now that's problematic because if I want to come over another year, it's going to be a bit issue. So I'll put that right there. I'm going to add the watch. And there it is. Oh, we could, I'm not quite sure how to get this one in for 2010, but we've got them. But we'll save this. Okay. And we've got a lot done in this case. So you'll want to take a look at this a few times. And I think we've made a little progress here. This is XLS case 5. Use this one. I'm going to put it over in the files. And this is the city of Clintwood. Okay? And we did some work with the budgets and all that business. Okay, folks. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to close this here file. All right? And I'm going to come over here to the files section. I'm going to upload. And we'll look for this. No, I want XLS case 5. Use this one. Let's see if it's on there. And let me see here. What did I name that? It's going to be an XLS. Hmm. Try this again. Maybe it didn't take. It says it took it, so let's go down here and find XLS5. And I'm making sure that I uploaded it for you. Huh. Oh, here it is, down here. XLSX case 5, use this one. All the way down here. Okay, my friends, that'll do it. I'm going to stop the share, and you'll want to read this, take a look at it. And this is the file. This file right here is the one that you will upload for XLS case 5. That's why I said XLS case 5. Use this one. We did the city of Clintwood. We did a lot in there. We did some trend analysis, forecasting. We used the name manager some more. We also used the watch window. We froze a pane. So we did quite a bit. Thank you much, folks. I'm going to stop the share and then stop the recording. And end the meeting.